I need to share some thoughts about the recent confusing headlines regarding sister wives. Christine may have mixed feelings about the situation, but after reading Christine Brown Willie's entire book detailing her experiences with Kody and how he treated her and her children, how he failed to show up for her kids, how he abandoned them and mistreated them and neglected them, I was surprised to see a People magazine article suggesting that Kody and his kids can repair their relationship. Maybe it's her rose-colored glasses, I don't know. The People article, with the headline stating that Christine Brown says her ex Kody's relationship with his kids is an ongoing story and adds that things are going to be better, made me think about eternal optimism. You know what it's like to be a forever optimist. It can be so disappointing when you're always assuming that someone is going to change, right? Have you ever had someone in your life, and let's go right there with a parent, where all you wanted was a good relationship with your parent, and you spent all of your life trying to make that relationship good? You did things to make them happy, tried to be the perfect daughter or son, accommodated and did what they needed or wanted, tried to be amiable and there for them when they needed you and available to them, only to find out all the time, over and over again, that no matter what you do, the change has to come from them. It's not like what people say about needing to change yourself, because you don't. You really don't. If someone is mistreating you and you have to change to be around them, that just spells toxic behavior. I think there could be on the horizon an opportunity for Kody to repair his relationships, but I don't see it happening because Kody needs people to fall in line. There are some of his kids that have made clear they don't want anything to do with him ever again. Kody has made clear that if his kids can't accept Robyn, they won't have a relationship with him. Unfortunately, with narcissists, triangulation is what they do. Robyn did triangulate Kody from his kids, and Kody has triangulated Robyn and his kids. So it's just a mess. I'm sure because she has a daughter that is still a minor, she wants to think the best. I don't know why they were publishing this article today because the interview was more than 20 days ago, but it says things are going to be better. That's kind of an ongoing story for that. She believes Kody is a good person and thinks that things are going to be better, hopes things are going to be better. That hurts my heart. I've never met Kody, and I don't think he's a good person. I don't. Maybe it's because I can see through him, and I see what kind of person he is, but I cannot see a guy that puts a woman above his kids as a good person. Someone who abandons a daughter that's going through surgery, negligently causes an ATV accident with a son with autism, sticks a child with autism, his son Dayton, into an RV for not complying, like sitting in an RV in Arizona, having to sit in a driveway. Basically berating his children to the point that one is so bullied and feels so defeated, he ends up taking his life. She is a better person than I am. Maybe it's that programming, and maybe it's how she can make sense of why she stayed with him. Here's the thing about narcissists, they're usually charming and they can turn it on, and they can show you that side of them where they seem like a good person, but I think Kody at the core is just rotten. She wrote about the situation, saying things take time, there's a lot of things that we say about each other that we hear, and it's just the nature of it. So we've got some things to work through. I'm sure that felt like coded language. There's a lot of things we say about each other, and that we hear. I wish they would just say, listen, on the show, we say some really awful things about each other, and I just don't know if this is going to be beneficial for their relationships. I think McKelty said it best last week. As long as the show is still on, and as long as Kody has an opportunity to use his kids for content, the kids won't have healing, no chance of healing because they won't trust that they can speak to their dad and share with him without it being weaponized against them on a show, right? They don't want to be bullied or intimidated into silence. They don't want to be threatened with lawsuits. They just want to be able to live their life and do their thing and not have to deal with what he's doing on TLC. But they also don't want to have the show being used as a weapon against them or have their lives on display just because their dad signed up for a show. That's the problem with reality TV. Unless you can get the reality television producers to agree to not include someone's name or talk about them, if you're a child of someone that's on reality television, they can talk about you. It's very weird to hear parents disparage their kids. I know that it happens. Trust me, I know the older generation does it. I grew up around it. I grew up around parents that had no problem disparaging their kids. I grew up around grandparents that had no problem disparaging their kids. I just don't think that it's healthy. And I certainly don't think it's healthy to publicly disparage your children. There would be no trust there. What I think is funny is that this article comes out, they talk to her before her book comes out, right? And they recycle parts of different conversations and things that Kody says to make a whole new article, which is so weird to me. It says it was like a vicious cycle all the time because for years she'd say, you know, your dad loves you, he wanted to spend time with you. She would tell her kids that all the time that he's going to come over, you're going to have a great time, blah, blah, blah. And after a while, they just stopped believing her. In her book, she writes about that when they were in Flagstaff, she would always tell the girls that their dad would come over and come and see them, and then he never would show up. Or if he did show up, he would only stop over for a little bit. Or he would say hello, and he would go upstairs in her bedroom and not interact with them. Or, if they invited him to go do something with them, he would never want to do anything with them. He went kayaking with them once and sat on the shore and watched them. Part of that was because he probably didn't want to spend time with Christine, so he's punishing his children. He always said that he did not know how to have relationships with kids because his relationship with his kids always existed in a home with his wives, which is honestly pathetic. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I mean it. I think about my husband, and my husband is literally the most amazing dad. Honest to God, my son and him are like best buds. Those two have inside jokes. They are constantly being silly together. They do all these activities together. They go outside, and they build all these Hot Wheels track things. I mean, honestly, I'm convinced that boys, even as they get older, never grow out of wanting toys. And men, once they have a boy, just want to play with toys. So it's like a dream come true. I just love their relationship. I love how much they have the same sense of humor, and they have all these inside jokes, and it's so cute. Then I'm with my son, and my husband won't be there, and then he says something that sounds just like my husband. The fact that Christine's kids don't have a relationship with their father and don't know what that's like, I would hope you would want to hope that your husband would be there. But at this point, all of the kids are adults except for one. He's never had a good relationship with Truly. She doesn't want to spend the night over at his house. She doesn't spend time alone with him. They'll never be able to build their relationship with him and reclaim those times as a child because they're gone. They're gone. He was busy. He had too many families. He had too many obligations. I mean, I hate polygamy for women, but it's an impossible life for men. The men that do it for the wrong reasons, like Kody, that don't care about the women, those women are nothing to them. Christine was nothing to him. She was just a vehicle that made babies. That was it. Then those babies he didn't like because he didn't like Christine. Because Kody can't see his kids beyond an extension of Christine, he cannot have a relationship with them. Because he doesn't know how to have a relationship with anyone, everyone has to worship him. I would be heartbroken, and I would never want to disparage my ex in front of them. But I feel like sometimes, don't your adult children deserve to know the truth? Don't they deserve to hear, you know what, he may not ever change, and that's okay. It might not ever happen. In her book, she says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. This is her doing something over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Kody is 57 years old. 57 years old. I don't know people that are 57 that change. My husband's 54. He's pretty set in his ways. He's just who he is at this point. Kody's not going to change, and he's not going to suddenly have an epiphany and be like, oh, I really need to do things differently, and I need to repair these relationships. Here's the quote from Kody. My children will always be my children, and the door will always be open to them. They've got to come through the door. I'm going to be holding a hand out for them, but I'm going to be holding this hand that's next to me, and I won't let go of that hand. I will not cut off Robyn to have a relationship with my children. The fact that they live in a space where that's the only way they can have a relationship is the problem. That's the problem. I can understand the kids not liking Robyn and using that as an excuse because in polygamy, it's easier to blame the woman than it is to blame the men. But I don't think it's just that they don't want her to have him have a relationship with Robyn. I think Robyn enables Kody, and so they know that Robyn enables Kody, and she's going to twist whatever they do and tell Kody, this is why we can't be around your children, they're not safe. If he can't put down his pride and just try to find middle ground with his kids, it won't work. That's the problem with narcissists. I tell you this sincerely from my own experience. When you have a parent that's a narcissist, you don't get to have a half relationship, right? So if your parents are still together and one of them is a narcissist and you decide I can't speak to the narcissist, that narcissist is going to make it so that you don't get to have a relationship then with the other parent because you only get to be in the family if you allow them to be a part of your life. You don't get to have a half relationship with the other parent as long as the narcissist is involved. Generally, the partner that's married to the narcissist is being emotionally and maybe physically, not in my family, but emotionally verbally abused. So then you're dealing with another parent that's in their own fight or flight. Talking to them isn't safe because they're always defending the narcissist. Sometimes the best and healthiest thing for the child is to cut them both off. As much as you love the other parent, they're not capable as long as the narcissist is influencing them. Sometimes the best thing you can do is say, I'm not going to continue the pattern of insanity, and I'm just going to move forward. It's painful and it's hard and it sucks and you might have daddy issues and mommy issues, but you'll get through it. The fact that he makes statements like this, some people think that parental-child relationships shouldn't have to be reciprocal, but when they're adults, yeah, they do. I'm not going to reach out forever. I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end and make some effort, too. I'm not going to go camp out on someone's doorstep. McKelty says he never calls, but more importantly, when he does call, no one wants to talk to him because they know he's a jerk. Christine can want Kody to change, but she can't change her kids that don't want to have a relationship with him. If they don't want to have a relationship with him, it's not going to get better. It's just going to be what it is. Sometimes that's okay. I'll tell you from my experience, going no contact is the best. It's hard, but it's so much healthier because dealing with narcissistic abuse and their mind games will keep you in a fog where you will feel unstable and inadequate and your self-esteem will be in the toilet. The only way that you can improve your self-esteem and your mental clarity is getting away from their games and their gaslighting. That was my confusion, and I just feel sad for the kids. Christine's rose-colored glasses will never go away, and it's why so many people love her. At some point, I think it's just best to say it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.